This report is called The Early Years. Where do you see this going in the future?
I see many more high net worth or ultra high net worth individuals that will eventually want to align their financial results to their values and will demand products like social impact bonds, which will create a global demand for this. On one hand. On the other hand, I see international organizations enter into this field of social impact bonds, using social impact bonds to solve global issues such as refugees, such as a global epidemic. And I see the social sector leaning on analyzing hard data and governments providing hard data to anybody who wants to build a tool that is leaning on the hard analysis of this data in order to solve social issues.
I think the challenge is that we need to deliver at greater scale, and I think that will require progress on a couple of fronts. One is, I think, greater confidence on the government side, the outcome payer, that they have in the value of the outcome they're buying, and the best way in which to harness the creativity to deliver that outcome. And I think equally on the delivery side, I see the need for us to think imaginatively about how we can take models that work in relatively confined environments and take them to scale through replication. One project I'm particularly excited on is a project we're looking at in London, which is working with 6 boroughs who have simultaneously agreed to contract for the same service on the same terms. And that platform, if you like, could actually then reach across London and deliver a very similar service, which each borough would find difficult to contract on its own. And I think if we do the industrial work on the delivery side, and if government on the outcome payer side actually perhaps even sets up specialist outcome funds with specialist commissioning skills within them, I think the sky's the limit.
Tracy, the sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit. I see continued evolution. I think 1.0 to 2.0 is going to see more types of outcomes payors coming to the fore. In addition to government, local sovereign government, we might see international donor agencies, we might see corporations, we might see health insurance companies. And we're also very excited about the international pipeline, whether it's almost action going on in every single continent right now as we look at the pipeline. So increasing activity in middle and lower income countries. And then finally, which is really why we're all drawn to this work, I think the kind of inspiration and clarity that this work brings to the social sector leaders, social entrepreneurs leading these organizations is going to be huge going forward. And I'll quote Sam Schaefer, who is our partner in the recidivism projects, 2 projects right now with the Center for Employment Opportunities. He tells me that if I can use my track record and our organizational strength to attract a very different kind of capital, in addition to philanthropy, in addition to government contracts, I have access to a whole new pool of capital to grow my program that I've never seen before. And this type of funding is asking me to focus on what I do best, which is program delivery, rather than all the other things that I'm doing right now in my day. And if we can have that message go to more social sector leaders, that's where the rubber meets the road. That's where the work is being done on the ground in the front lines. So I find that message to the social sector leaders really inspiring.
Toby, the founder of Social Finance.
I think we are sitting on some really large-scale, long-term changes. The use of data and the insight that can be generated from it, the ability to capture data from the field much more quickly. We're just at the beginning of those changes. The acceptability of providing social services to our most vulnerable populations and not knowing whether they're effective is going to go down and down and down. So for me, the social impact bond work that we're doing at the moment, a lot of the costs are because the technology is early in the surrounding pieces. And I think those are going to become cheaper. Doing work towards outcomes is going to become a requirement and a norm over time. And the social impact bond will be seen as a starting point or a part of that progress towards a much richer range of products over time.
So the Social Impact Bonds, the early years report from the Social Finance Global Network is now published, and as you've heard, it has a huge future, helping governments, helping society solve its problems. I'd like to thank you and congratulate you on the work you've done so far and wish you luck in the years ahead.